Hey, truth seekers, welcome back. Zach here. In this video, I want to expose the scripting of the Elite Eight matchups from Easter Sunday, Syracuse over Virginia, and North Carolina over Notre Dame. I also want to talk about why I am sticking with my pick of North Carolina to win the tournament, which I predicted in my preview video. So let's begin with the Syracuse matchup. The Orangemen shocked Virginia. The 10 seed defeated the 1 seed 68-62, and they won by the numbers. Numbers important to the date, the school, the head coach. If you're new here, I talk about Gematria, the practice of coding numbers into words. This is an ancient practice, esoteric knowledge, and it is very relevant to the world of sports when you learn it. You come to find out that this is truly a major component in how the games are scripted. Syracuse has Gematria of 30, 39, and 48. This is interesting because 39 is a very important number to New York. New York equals 39. New York was established on a date with 39 numerology. The United Nations in New York is 39 floors tall. Empire equals 39. New York calls itself the Empire State. There's even more. Madison equals 39. Madison Square Garden, MSG, equals 39. Very special number in New York. Syracuse has it coded within the name. Syracuse also equals 48 like Final Four. They are advancing to the Final Four for the 5th time in the history of their school. One of the leaders in the history books. Orangemen also has Gematria of 47. Yesterday they scored 47 points in the second half, part of their comeback. Also, yesterday was Easter Sunday, Christian holiday. Christian equals 47. Fitting for the Orangemen to be playing on Easter. Syracuse Orangemen has Gematria of 77, 86, 95. 86 stands out because it's an important number. Symbol equals 86, triangle equals 86, pyramid equals 86. They also won with 68 yesterday, the reflection of 86. Syracuse, the big way, equals 111, just like New York. In English Gematria, Syracuse equals 666, just like New York. Last year in spring training at this time, I said the Mets would be in the World Series. I thought they were going to win it, but they ended up losing. I learned something from that. My prediction that they'd be in the World Series was correct. It was the 111th World Series. I explained why it would be the Mets and not the Yankees. Yankees have won 27 World Series. Baseball equals 27. MLB equals 27. Think about how there's 27 outs in a game. Again, the language of Gematria, incredibly important to sports. Major League Baseball equals 162 games in an MLB season. Whole lot more to it. I'm just trying to give you more information as we go so you can see this is well beyond coincidence. I noticed yesterday in the second half, the two teams scored a combined 74 points, 47 plus 27. Masonic equals 74. So does Jewish. It is the Freemasons and Zionist Jews who have collegiate and professional sports rigged, predetermined by the numbers. Again, Orangemen equals 47. 47 points in the second half. The comeback was led by Malachi Richardson, a freshman for the team, and I want to show you why he was so fitting. As many people know, when athletes throw up this symbol and put it around their eye, it often represents 666. I'm not someone who, every time somebody does that symbol, I say, oh, look, symbolism. You know, a lot of us are taught A-OK, and we do that just because it's been taught to us. Also in NBA, when you do this, it often signifies three-pointer. But when you put it around your eye and you do it with both eyes, that's a little bit different. And you could say this is a learned behavior. You do see athletes doing this. You see it in highlights often, profession and college. But a lot of these athletes are Manchurian athletes, born and bred to be owned and operated. And Malachi Richardson, very possible he's one of these athletes, a young phenom, a freshman superstar. Anyhow, Malachi Richardson, an interesting name in Gematria. In Pythagorean Gematria, his name sums to 64, the last name. March Madness equals 64. Malachi in simple English Gematria also equals 47, like Orangeman. This is one of the most important numbers to the Freemasons and Zionists. The Zionist state of Israel was established in the year 47 on the 333rd day of the year by a 33-member vote from the United Nations. Special numbers I've talked about since the beginning of this channel. Malachi Richardson also equals 84 and 93, important numbers to the nation, important numbers to black history. I don't want to get into great detail about all of this. I don't want to overwhelm you with the information, but if you follow my channel, you'll see how significant these numbers are. United States of America has connections to 84 and 93. Also in simple English Gematria, Malachi Richardson equals 156. Another very special number here, 911 is the 156th prime number. Think about him being in New York. The firm that built the World Trade Centers had name Gematria of 156. Buildings came down on 9/11. His birthday numerology, January 5th, 96. Date with the numerology you see on the screen. Life number of 31. Basketball equals 31. 102. Final four equals 102. The head coach of the team, Jim Boeheim, who was recently punished, some sort of scandal, got a lot of team wins taken away, 108 to be exact. What stands out to me is that he's born in the year 44. This year, the national championship will be on April 4th, which also happens to have 44 numerology this year. He's also currently 71. There's a relationship with 44 and 71. His birthday has the numerology you see on the screen. He has a life lesson number of 46. March Madness equals 46, 64, and 118. We'll talk about 118 in a moment. Anyhow, his age of 44 and 71, when you write out 44, when you write out 71, when you write out April 4th, they all sum to 144. Sure, April 4th, the date of the championship. I don't think the Orangemen will be there, though. I think they're going down to North Carolina, who, in my opinion, is still a lock to win it all. I also want to rep a blog and YouTube channel. There's someone who learned from my channel about a year ago. He's been making videos ever since, and he is absolutely brilliant. I will even say that he is better at Gematria and finding the sports connections by a lot than me. For you sports fans who want this knowledge for whatever purposes, whether it be gambling, what have you, you want to listen to Dan. This man is like a sports encyclopedia. He's learned the Gematria, and he's very good at making the connections. I didn't watch the Syracuse game yesterday. He did. This is what he wrote me after the game. He say, "Did you see in the other game Syracuse started coming back after Virginia had 58 points? Freemasonry equals 58, special number. They hadn't led in the game since the score was 8-5, a lot like 58. They had a 29-8 run at the end of the game. Virginia finished the season 29-8. And this is no coincidence. This is what goes on in college ball, pro ball, more than basketball. It happens in football, baseball, scripting by the numbers, numbers of significance. The 29-8 run was a tribute to the end of Virginia's season 29-8. Dan caught it. I'm going to link Dan's channel down in the description. He focuses mainly on sports. For you sports enthusiasts, you're going to love his channel. He's amazing. Dan the man. Also, what I thought about is the fact how Syracuse advanced over the Virginia Cavaliers, which made me think of LeBron James and the Cavaliers. Carmelo, who won the national championship with Syracuse, was drafted behind LeBron James out of high school and has always played second fiddle to LeBron. Yesterday, Syracuse defeating the Cavaliers might have been a tribute to the Carmelo-LeBron rivalry in the NBA. And earlier this year, there was an article put out about LeBron that had all this New York coding, and I documented that, and I said if LeBron ever goes to another team besides the Cavs, I bet you it's New York. and perhaps he'll bring winning to New York, something New York basketball is not used to. So there might be a deeper riddle here in this Cavaliers-Syracuse matchup. The world of the NBA and the world of college basketball are connected in the same way the world of college football and the NFL are connected, and I have exposed this over the years. Last year, the college championship was on April 6th. The NBA finals started June 4th, and they were directly connected. Just like this year, Alabama's win with the points summing to 85 in the game was directly connected to the Broncos Super Bowl. Notice how Clemson lost, as well as the Carolina Panthers, the Carolina teams. National Football League equals 85. Lots of 85 on both games. It's all a scripted web. And so many people come here and go, but these college athletes, how could they get these young men? It's just like, have you guys been in college? Do you know college-age men? What do college-age men live for? Do I need to elaborate? They don't live for money. They like money, but what do college-age men live for? Think about how easily it is to bribe these men and what can be given to them. I don't want to elaborate. Use your mind and think about what I'm trying to tell you. Real easy for college-age men to sell out. Let me tell you that. I used to be one. So anyway, North Carolina, Notre Dame. I want to tell you what I saw in this game. This was the other game from Easter Sunday. North Carolina at the half led 43-38. So often at halftime, scripted tributes in the score. Tar Heels in Gematria equals 34, and with the S exception, 43. It's been 34 years since Dean Smith and Michael Jordan won the championship in 82. So does March. March equals 43. So does the word champion. So Tar Heels, champion, March, all equal 43. And notice in this picture what's on the background. You can see it. The word championship is up here. Championship. This image is no coincidence. Also, I wanted to point out that Notre Dame was going for their 35th win of the season. North Carolina was going for their 35th win of the season over Notre Dame, which is a Catholic school. Catholic equals 35. In the history of the U.S., there's only been one Catholic president, JFK, who was the 35th president. He was also the 44th term president. Also, Notre Dame, N is the 14th letter, D is the 4th. 14-4 is a lot like 144, which is connected to this year's championship. I think the way these games are scripted is all part of the tributes leading up to the main event. So this is a fitting team for North Carolina to advance over. The Orangemen will also be a fitting team because orange is a color of sacrifice. Often the team that wears orange loses. Orange has Gematria of 33, Jesus crucified at 33, Easter, a celebration of Jesus being resurrected from the dead after being crucified on the cross at 33. Anyhow, also in the history of the Catholic Church, there was a 33-day pope who died on September 28th in the year 78. That was Pope John Paul I. The date he died on had numerology of 44. 44 is also the kill number. This number very much associated with death. Dean Smith died last year, February 7th, 2015, a date with 44 numerology. The coach that introduced Roy Williams to North Carolina in the year 78, same year. This is the 78th tournament for the NCAA March Madness, 78th year of it. Anyhow, April 4th, 144, 44, 144, 71, 144. Remember, Syracuse's coach, age 71 right now. Catholic equals 71. These Catholic connections in yesterday's game. Little tangential there. I hope you're following me. JFK himself died on the first day of Sagittarius as the 44th term president. Gematria of 144. His brother Bobby Kennedy would die at 1:44 in the morning. I just like to drop the knowledge as we go. Back to the sports. Something I caught watching the game yesterday, I saw a little bit of the Notre Dame, North Carolina game, missed the Syracuse game. Notre Dame was trailing 40 to 51, and they went on a 12-point lead or 12-0 run, taking the lead. And they held the lead for a couple minutes. Then North Carolina went on a big run and put it away. But here's what stands out about this run. I think this was a scripted run. 51 is the number of conspiracy. It's also connected to Freemason. Notre Dame went from 40 to 51, making the score 52 to 51 after their 12-0 run. In numerology, 12 represents complete. Their run ended at 12 points. Think about 12 hours in the morning, 12 hours in the night, 12 months in the year, 12 inches in a foot. 12 times 12 is also 144. The 12th Fibonacci number is also 144. It comes back to that, which we've been talking about as well. But 12 represents complete. And with their 12-0 run ending at 52 points, it takes me back to Pope. At the beginning of the NBA season, I said I think there'll be heavy influence in basketball from the Pope's visit, who departed from Philadelphia. Philadelphia was connected to the prior year NBA Finals because the Warriors who won were originally from Philadelphia, and they won the first ever basketball championship in the year 47, defeating the Chicago Stags. This year, the Pope departed from Philadelphia after there had been a lot of Philadelphia-related basketball deaths, including Moses Malone, Daryl Dawkins, other former players, also the shot clock keeper who'd been with the Philadelphia basketball team since 47. He died by the numbers. So anyhow, we're seeing now these Catholic connections, these Philadelphia connections in basketball. The Philadelphia 76ers began the NBA season with a record losing streak. The Golden State Warriors, originally from Philadelphia, began with a record winning streak. Think about how Iguodala was the finals MVP last year, who played the majority of his career with Philadelphia. Now we're seeing Villanova, the Philadelphia team. They've made it to the Final Four. Surprise team, I just talked about them in a recent video. How Villanova syncs up with the Philadelphia train wreck of last year before the NBA Finals, which syncs up with the Kansas train wreck the day before the college finals began. The college tournament, excuse me. All of this stuff's connected. I'll link my other college tournament videos so far. In case you're new here, you can go back and watch them. You can see all that I've been talking about. These Amtrak train crashes are part of the scripting of the basketball rigging. The Masons, the Zionists who run the show, they treat the world as a stage. You've heard the saying, the world is a stage. Our sports and news are very much part of this stage. After the run of 52 to 51, North Carolina would score 53-52 the score became. And just seeing that 53, it reminded me of the words religion and Catholic. Religion equals 53, Catholic 35. Also, as I pointed out in the very first video when I said North Carolina would win, I was talking about how the point guard Page, he's had a bad season. He might have been tanking on purpose to have a good tournament. I suspect he might be named the MVP after they win. That was my prediction from the end of the video. What happened at the end of yesterday's game was, unless you recognize how the games are rigged, it's impossible to explain the stupidity you see in sports, both collegiate and pro. Notre Dame was in a situation where they had to foul instantly. They need to get quick free throws, make threes to get back in the game. There was like a minute 15, something like this. Notre Dame did not foul. They let the clock run all the way down to 46 seconds before fouling, and the announcer's going, "What are they doing? They need to foul. Why aren't they fouling?" And then they foul when the shot clock's almost all the way down at 46 seconds. 5 years ago, I would have been pulling out my hair going, "God, I can't stand watching these sports. It's so obvious they're rigged. I don't know why they do it this way." But now I watch and I go, "Oh, I know exactly why they do it this way." 46 seconds is relevant. March Madness has Gematria of 46. They waited 30 seconds to foul, and they fouled right at 46 seconds. These players, these coaches, they are in on the scripting. They know what they're doing. Maybe not everyone on the team does, but key players, the point guards, the seniors, they have to know. Also, yesterday's game fell on Easter Sunday, a date with 46 numerology. Nonsensical basketball, by the numbers, explained. That's what happens when you learn this language of gematria and numerology. At the end of the game, a timeout was called with 34 seconds exactly, with North Carolina right after they scored their 88th point. Get this, Tar Heels the small way is 34. With the S exception, it's 43, like what they had at halftime. Tar Heels the big way is 88. Timeouts are often called by the numbers that correspond with the team names, the date, the event. Pro and collegiate, rigged the same way. Look at what Notre Dame had, 71. Catholic equals 71. Notre Dame would score 3 more points at the end, fitting for an Easter Sunday game, and here's why. Jesus equals 74. Cross equals 74. Messiah equals 74. Gospel equals 74. Joshua is the English translation of Jesus. Joshua equals 74. Yeshua is the Greek spelling. Yeshua equals 74. Out of the 50 states in the United States, only one has a gematria of 74. It's the 33rd state, Oregon. Jesus, crucified on the cross at age 33. Oregon, 74. Oregon's also abbreviated OR, the 15th and the 18th letter. The abbreviation's 33 for the 33rd state. If you haven't seen my preview video, I talk about Bryce Johnson on the cover of Sports Illustrated the week the tournament began and what he has to do with the North Carolina foreshadowing for a championship. North Carolina's been getting major tributes through the whole tournament. Their first game, they scored 83 points, the 23rd prime number. Think about Jordan in 23. Their next game, they scored 85 points. Basketball equals 85. The tournament advanced to 64 teams in the year 85. That's also the year Villanova won 31 years ago. Basketball's 85 the big way, 22 and 31 the small way. Villanova is the only team I could see upsetting North Carolina. Perhaps Oklahoma. But so much lines up for North Carolina, I will be shocked if they lose. And again, yesterday, the Orangemen winning, orange, gematria of 33, like Jesus on the cross at age 33. Also, with regards to Easter Sunday, it has the gematria of 44. Remember, 44, a big number on the tournament. North Carolina currently has 44 tournament losses all time. It's possible they win this tournament with that same number by not losing. I should have mentioned that Easter Bunny equals 144. When you write out 44, it sums to 144, fitting that Easter Sunday equals 44 and Easter Bunny equals 144. Did a video on Easter Bunny and Santa Claus, if you care to watch it. Information that will blow your mind. I also want to talk about the death of Mike Brey's mother last tournament before the Sweet 16. The story was that Mike Brey didn't tell his team until after the game. But this stuff is very creepy when you look at it. Mike Brey's birthday is March 22nd, 322, the number that has to do with skull and bones. Last year, his mother died just before the tournament Sweet 16 game. And her name was supposedly Betty Brey. Betty Brey equals 41, just like Notre Dame, just like Skull and Bones. Skull and Bones identifies by the number 322, which corresponds with his birthday. She supposedly died at age 84, and she had a life number of 84. Mike Brey also has birth numerology of 84. Jesuit equals 84. Notre Dame's a Catholic school. Catholicism right alongside the Jesuits. A lot of Jesuit schools in this tournament. Gonzaga was one of them. Gonzaga in their first game scored 35 points in the first half. Gonzaga equals 35. Catholic equals 35. Whole lot of Catholic Jesuit influence in basketball. Lots of good Jesuit high school basketball programs throughout the nation. What I'm trying to tell you here, though, is these people, these Jesuits, these Masons, these Zionists, They kill people. They murder people by the numbers as ritual sacrifice. And Mike Brey has gotten deep into the tournament 2 years. And part of the reason is likely because he's one of these Masonic-Zionist sellouts who would even give up his own mother for his own wealth, success, and fame. That's how sick these people are. And for all of you who watch these tournaments, spend money on jerseys, give money to these leagues, I want you to know what you're doing, who you're supporting. This is the more important message behind my work. I'm not here to fuel gambling. I'm here to awaken people to the lies and deceit of this world and the disgusting things that are going on, including the ritual sacrifice of people for pro sports, for collegiate sports. College and pro, Division I, there's no separation. It's the same thing. Also, yesterday on Easter Sunday, the Warriors and 76ers played each other. Remember, Warriors originally from Philadelphia. The first time the 76ers went to the NBA Finals, they went against the San Francisco Warriors, where the Warriors were located previously before moving to Oakland. Anyhow, notice the sum of the game was 222 points. Amtrak and Jewish Gematria equals 222. The Amtrak train wreck last year in Philadelphia was connected to the NBA Finals. The Amtrak train wreck this year in Kansas was connected to the college championship. The name Philadelphia comes from Revelation of the Bible. Think about how this game was on Easter Sunday, Christians, Bible. Warriors and Revelation have identical gematria. The name Philadelphia comes from Revelation in the Bible. The word Christian equals 47. The Philadelphia Warriors won the championship in 47. If you've never read Revelation, it's about hell coming to earth. Hell in English gematria equals 222. And this game also became the Warriors' 53rd straight win at home. Last week I did a video on why I think the win streak will go to at least 57 and possibly 58. Warriors with the S exception equals 58. Their 58th game at home will be against the Spurs on 4-7. A lot like 47. A lot like the year the Philadelphia Warriors won the championship. Anyway, religion equals 53. Warriors get their 53rd win at home in the league rigged by the Masons and Zionists by the numbers. I'll do a video later this week with final predictions for what I think is going to happen. I'm torn on this game right now because of Villanova's connections to Philadelphia. Oklahoma, though, and Coach Lon Kruger have a ton that line up. In my preview video, I said if there was a third team that might make it to the finals instead of Kansas and North Carolina, it might be Oklahoma. Oklahoma's going for their 42nd tournament win on April 2nd, which has 42 date numerology. That's some strong alignment. Oklahoma is also close to Houston, where the championship is. Oklahoma Sooners has identical gematria to Houston, Texas. So Oklahoma Sooners, some interesting connections here. I'm almost 1,000,000% sure North Carolina will be in the championship, advancing over Syracuse. This game I'm more torn on. At the end of the week, I'll do more research and put out a video. Also, something you can do if you're trying to learn how to predict is learn to look at current records. Right now, Syracuse is 65-37 in the tournament. They've been to 5 Final Fours. They've won 1 championship with Carmelo Anthony. These numbers don't have strong alignment for this year's tournament or anything else, in my opinion. Part of the reason I think Syracuse will lose. Villanova, 55-35. What stands out most about these numbers is a loss. If they lost, they'd have 36 losses, which corresponds with Villanova. Villanova equals 36. 36 is connected to 666. 2016 has a lot of 666 connections, as does this tournament. Villanova losing in the Final Four seems fitting. They've made it far. Final Four is a major tribute. This is their 4th Final Four that they've gotten to. Villanova, their numbers align for a loss. I'm not certain on that yet. There's other things I need to look at, but I see Oklahoma advancing with their 42nd win on April 2nd. Oklahoma currently at 41 wins. The next one will be 42. But here, North Carolina, this is where the bread and butter is. North Carolina currently at 44 losses. A 44, a huge number on the tournament. I expect them to finish this tournament with 44 losses, meaning they didn't lose at all this year. If they win next week in the Final Four, they'll have 117 wins. And if they win the championship, they'll have 118 wins. Here's why 118 matters. Whoops, you got to spell right. March Madness in simple English gematria equals 118. It equals 46 and 64 the small way. It equals 118 the big way. They're going for their 118th win in the championship should they make it. Also, I want you to notice the gematria of prophecy, 106. This year's Amtrak train crash was in a city, Garden City. Just show you this. Garden City has gematria of 106. Last year in Philadelphia, the train was supposedly going 106 miles per hour. I also want you to notice how prophecy equals 666 in Jewish gematria. North Carolina is in their 106th year of existence as a basketball program. The number of prophecy corresponding with the train wreck that was foreshadowing for the tournament. And again, they'll get their 118th win should they win it all this year. Bryce Johnson, the man on the cover at the beginning of the tournament for Sports Illustrated for North Carolina, also has the numbers of prophecy. So that pretty much sums it up. That was the rigging yesterday. For any of you who come here and continue to doubt the work, I guess you can't be reached. I guess you're just a coincidence theorist. And in that case, you're going to have to wait for my clothing line coming out that's designed just for you. Coincidence theorist right on the chest. You'll be wearing it soon. Until next time, true